Okay, connecting.
Hello, Chuck. How are you doing today, sir? Welcome to the Aviation Avenue podcast.
Hi, Brandon. I've seen your list of people you've interviewed. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
you know?
thank you, sir. You got to flip the little
Yeah,
camera icon around.
yeah,
You see the two arrows?
yeah. I have it tilted down, but I don't have a good background.
No, it's okay. No
All right.
worries. Sorry, I was
Okay.
just feeling some
All right.
drama right now.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
how did you get into aviation?
Well, I grew up and, I wasn't at an airport and did learn to fly when I was 16, like a lot of people do and that. So I basically got good at math and science and went to college. And I go, I'm going to be an engineer. So that was kind of my first kick into it. And then when I graduated, wow, I had a job and I had money. And so I got my pilot license, when I was 24, I guess. So, some people, they have a family and they grow up and they have airplanes and they teach their kids to fly when they're 16. You being only 14, right?
Yes, sir.
So you planning to, 16th birthday solo an airplane, things like that?
Yeah, technically.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so next question is, which air show is your favorite to perform at?
Well, the last one I did was actually my favorite because it's the most recent. It was at Edwards Air Force Base. And if you know the history of Edwards Air Force Base, everything's happened there. First flight, space shuttle, X-15, all those planes that you're well aware of that took place at Edwards. So that's my favorite. And it's just, you go there and you just know the history. And it's like, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, it truly is amazing. I've actually never been to that air show because I live kind of far from
Right.
who requested to join. We'll let people join in later if that's okay with
Sure.
you.
So this is going to be kind of taped and it'll go on your website then?
Yeah, my YouTube channel, and then I'll do audio for my podcast.
Okay.
So next question is, do you work out to handle G-force?
Well, that's the thing about G-force. There really isn't anything on the ground to exercise with. Centrifuges and stuff would do it, but those are hard to find. So you basically have to go up and practice. You do a lot of G training, sustained Gs mostly, and you get that G tolerance. So it's something you can't really do on the ground unless you have a centrifuge. A centrifuge in that? I don't know if you've ever been in one.
I've not.
They spin you around and then they see, how you're doing at 8, 9 Gs and that. It's pretty spectacular, but that's military and government do that. But civilians don't have centrifuges, I don't think.
No, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So, somebody says, Chuck, do you remember me? It's Travis.Heim_.
Tell me more about yourself, Travis. I know some Travises, but can you message him and say where you're from and how you know me?
Well, he says he saw you at an air show.
Okay.
I don't really.
Yeah, tell me the air show and I might have met you and talked to you or something. So
I think he lives kind of near me.
Okay. You live in let's see, you live in Orange County?
Yeah, Orange County, Yorba Linda.
Okay, Okay.
So next question is, what was it like filming Top Gun Maverick and taking all the actors up?
Well, that was amazing because the first Top Gun, 1986, 37 years ago now, that was kind of a big movie. That was the big aviation movie. And you're probably could name quotes from the original Top Gun, right?
Yes, sir.
That's kind of a 37-year-old movie, and here you are, 14, so do the math. So that was 23 years before you were born. That movie came out. It's like we missed a generation or something with a movie like that. But I got a contact, and they didn't say what movie it was, but they says, why don't you meet us up at the, do you know where Inyakern is? Inyakern Airport up in the desert?
I have not heard of it, no.
Next to China Lake. It's in the desert, Mojave Desert. So you kind of go north, like you're going to Lake Tahoe, and it's like a third of the way up the road. And it's a small airport. And I got invited to go there to meet with some people. And I flew into the airport. And then all of a sudden, wow, they're going to do a Top Gun movie, Top Gun sequel, and that. And then I talked with producers and that, and everything went fine. And then they says, "Oh, Tom Cruise wants to talk to you," and you're like, "Oh my gosh, this is the real deal." So we talked, 10 or so minutes about flying and everything, and it was just spectacular because he had a plan. He learned from the first Top Gun movie that people without flight experience, they look kind of scared and they can get sick in airplanes. So his goal was, let's get them prepared. Let's give them confident to be in F-18s and handle the Gs. And so a lot of it was practicing for the Gs and tumbling. And what's spectacular about it, they're doing this top end movie, that's number 4 in the world right now, all time. But they were just so excited about flying. They would show up and say, "Look, what are we going to do today?" So it was kind of just a refreshing thing that they're like real excited about flying, where they're, going to be in a giant movie type of thing. And you just dealt with them and you became friends with them and you flew, and it was just like one of those events. Like it was about over a 9-month period where you flew with each of them, and some of them like 25 times or more you'd fly. So this was a serious training that they had. And how many times have you seen the Top Gun Maverick?
I've seen it, I believe, about 4 or 5 times.
Okay. Well, when I see it and I see their G faces and everything like that, I go, wow, I prepared them to do that. And so it's just like, wow, what a payoff that they decided to go through all this training, which they did. And if they wouldn't have went through the training, they had those 6 cameras taking pictures of them and that in the airplane, in the F-18. And we can't use that, we can't use that. But they came back from every flight, and I'm sure they could use portions of each flight. So that was a difference that made the movie so spectacular, is that it was real, it wasn't fake. And you probably know, you've seen a lot of aviation movies. You can tell when an aviation movie is fake, right?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Well, my dad can tell.
Okay. But, some are just so fake. It's like, who are they trying to fool, And they're like cartoons, So It's just, wow, you didn't know how the movie was going to turn out, but it's just, wow. 6 Academy Award nominations last week and everything. So that's the real deal for a movie. Aviation movie, too. Yeah.
It was awesome, and it was a really great movie, and thank you to you and all the actors for their hard work at prepping this movie and doing an amazing job. It really made me
right.
Awesome.
And Glenn Paul, one of the actors, he got his license like shortly after the filming was done. And he had to fit that when he was in Devotion. Did you see the movie Devotion?
Yes, I did. Just
wow.
On the first day it came out, I went to a theater in San Diego.
Yeah, Corsairs and that. And I've seen you've interviewed some Corsair aficionados too in your interviewing.
Yeah.
Tobol, I think. But anyway, and he was John Glenn in Hidden Figures. Have you seen Hidden Figures?
I've not.
That's a good movie. It's about, the Mercury flight, John Glenn's first flight into space. And it kind of talks about the background at NASA and the mathematics involved with that. So I recommend that movie. Put that on your list of movies to see.
Yes, sir. And then a question from C_Mona. Most memorable or favorite moment when learning to fly, either for your private or aerobatic?
Well, the one that stands out is that first time you solo. Okay, you're doing all these flights with the instructor, and they're always talking, and they're manipulating the controls. and all of a sudden they step out of the airplane and it says, take it around the pattern. And so you're in there and you're going, wow, it's so quiet in here, you know, because you're all by yourself. So that's one of those moments where everybody remembers the first time they solo an airplane. That's very, very memorable. That was a long time ago, but it's like you can close your eyes and picture where you were that moment, you know, and I'm proud of how that's evolved from solo an airplane to lots of ratings and wow, Top Gun Maverick, you know?
Yeah.
So,
and I've actually taken some flying lessons myself out in Chino Airport in California.
Nice.
And then I'll show you the certificate.
Yeah. So what are you training in? What plane?
Right there. Yeah.
Okay. Look at that.
It was a little summer camp, actually.
Okay.
I wanted to do it, and then I saw like an email like, "Oh, my parents signed me up for it," and I was very happy to do that.
That's great.
There's only 3 kids there. I was like,
okay,
more kids, because there was more kids at the last one, but 3 people was kind of nice because there wasn't any like stress to go.
So did you go up in airplanes then?
Yeah. So I went up in a Piper PA-28 or a Cherokee.
Yeah, Cherokee.
Kind of like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then a Cessna 150, but I don't have a 150 model.
Okay.
Kind of like this, but a little bit bigger or smaller.
And did you have a flight instructor in that signed a logbook for you or anything?
Yes. His name was Bryce Monolo.
Okay, great.
Thank you. And then, it's like out near Chino Airport.
Okay.
California.
At the Chino Airport then? At the Chino Airport?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Talk about, the planes of fame and everything there.
Yeah.
Steve
love that place.
And everything. Yeah. It's just, wow. Just, yeah. So.
They had an air show there.
Yeah.
The last year they had it was 2019, but 2020 was COVID. 2021 was budget issues. And last year was this road work, and then this year it's going to be road work again. So 4 years in a row,
that's
the air show has been
disappointing. I know. I was down there actually. I flew Sean Tucker's airplane into Chino in 2014, so 9 years ago, and what a spectacular show Chino is. They need to bring that back. I mean, people look forward to it,
Yeah, I do, and it's really close to me too.
Yeah,
it's 10 minutes from where I'm sitting right now.
Well, age 16, you're gonna get a driver's license, and I'm thinking, wow, you're younger than even a driver's license. So you got to get a ride to anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is true. I need to start working.
Well, yeah, you got a great start in aviation if you've already flown and learning about aviation and that. So kind of one thing, I know there's the question about that, but flying is great. It's great to do, but math and science, that'll make you a better pilot. And I don't know what you've found that, when you're learning to fly and you're doing calculations for distance and rate of climbs and everything that you use in math and science and equations and stuff like that. I don't know if you're into math and science, like going to school. What's kind of your favorite subjects?
I like history.
Okay.
Specifically World War II.
Aviation history, huh?
Yes.
So we can probably go back and forth about, So since World War II, why not start in the early 1900s with, the Wright brothers, That's when history kind of started, is 1903.
Yeah.
December 17th, 1903, first powered flight,
120 feet in the air.
Right. And you just look at that, you go 1903, first supersonic flight. What year was first supersonic flight? Quiz.
Yeah. Oh. Uh-oh.
Right after World War II.
1946.
47.
Oh, 47. close.
Chuck Yeager did the first supersonic flight, and that's up at Edwards Air Force Base, so that's right nearby. And okay, so 1903 to 1947 was 44 years. We went from first flight to supersonic in 44 years. Then Neil Armstrong walked on the moon in what year? That's an easy one.
60-something, 1960-something.
69.
69.
Okay. So 25 years later, after supersonic, we were walking on the moon. So a 66-year period on this Earth, we went from first powered flight to walking on the moon. Tell me how anybody can't find that just, wow, how can that happen, you know? And that's the people and their drive to do things and build things and everything. It's like 66 years. I mean, that's all it took. I mean, just what's it going to be like in 66 years if it only took that long to do that, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, history, that's good. So, you know, good quizzing back and forth.
Yeah, thank you.
Because I got lots of dates and stuff to quiz you on, but maybe some other time.
Yeah, that's all right.
You probably can stump me too.
So, and then really, honestly, one of my favorite air shows to go to is the Marine Corps Air Station Miramar out in San Diego, California.
Yep. I haven't been to that one, but that's a big time show. And you know, that airport in Miramar, that's where the original Top Gun was. And that's where they filmed the 1986 movie, Top Gun, in 86.
Yeah.
And
there was a video.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry for interrupting.
No. Continue.
There was a video by a guy named Whitman51. He uploaded this video it takes place in 1998.
Okay.
And it's the F-14 demo flying over Miramar. And I was like, wow, that's absolute stellar video quality.
Right.
Amazing.
From back then. Now everybody's got a high definition camera, you know? Yeah. I mean, in the early days, you'd have, you know, a bulky camera like VH camera or Hi8. And then now with GoPros and everything else, it's like, wow, 4K is in everybody's hands. So, you know, you think of all the things we missed out, like during the early days of flying and everything, you know, World War II and going to the moon and everything. Everybody didn't have cameras, but now everybody has cameras. So we're capturing the history. Everybody is.
Yep. And then I got some aviation photography of my own, actually. I have another account called Aircraft and Cars Photography, which you're welcome to follow if you want. You don't have to.
I will. And do you take stills or videos or everything?
Everything, like pictures. I set them to music. I actually did yesterday.
Music videos, you know. Like there's one that, you know, when MTV used to show music videos, there's a very memorable one with the Blue Angels in it. Do you know the one I'm talking about?
Was it set to Kickstart My Heart?
No, it was a Van Halen Dreams.
Oh yeah, Dreams. I know that. Yeah.
That was like the last year the A4s were flying Blue Angels, and the next year, 1987, they went into F-18s, and I actually worked on those modifications because my first job out of college was at McDonnell Douglas, working on F-18s and that. So here we are, 30-something years later. The F-18s are still the Blue Angels.
Yep.
So
it's amazing. And then I believe they're going to get replaced by the F-35Bs.
Someday,
yeah. You're right.
I don't know if they have any, but yeah, okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. I'll have to research and see if they're going to do that. When are the Thunderbirds going to go away from the F-16s then? Do you know
Yeah.
that?
Here, just a second. Hold on.
Okay. You're managing your whole broadcast and everything, right?
Yeah, something happened. I sliced my
Okay.
foot on something, and I'm trying to clean it up.
Your foot hit a cord or something, power cord or something?
Yeah, it was
Or,
this little thing.
okay. You didn't say slice, did you?
No, I didn't say sliced. Or did I say sliced?
You pulled a wire. I don't know.
Yeah, I have a gaming chair, and it's rolly, and it like.
Yeah. Well.
I'm gonna get rid of it.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna work on a new improved studio,
Yeah.
right? With like lights and speakers and microphones and videos, multiple videos.
Yeah, you're right on that. And then somebody
Okay.
had a question.
Sure.
I don't know if she's in anymore. It was a girl named Sophia. I can't pronounce her username
Okay.
because I'm bad at it. It was, how do you wake up every morning knowing you can do amazing tricks?
Well, what you do is you have so much practice that it kind of becomes real common. And here's the thing, like this afternoon I'm going to fly aerobatics, but the FAA rules are you got to be above 1,500 feet, but that's more relaxing than if you're doing an air show where you're down at the surface and everything. So you wake up and it's kind of, wow, I'm going to fly again today, and it never goes away, the excitement that, wow, I'm going to fly, not just fly, but do aerobatics and that. So it kind of brings you back to, wow, I got the opportunities I get to do every day is like amazing. And a lot of my friends are pilots too, and so it's kind of a normal society. But then you go away from those people, and they go, "Oh my gosh, you fly? That's great stuff." So I'm real proud to be chose that path to go flying and engineering and everything like that. So thanks, Sophia.
Yeah, that's amazing. And she's not in, but yeah, thank you, Sophia, for the question. And then, hold up for a minute. Honestly, my favorite stunt plane is the Extra 300L, which is yours.
Yeah, there we go. I actually have in that Extra 300 series. There's the mid-wing also. I have over 4,000 hours in them, and I'm trying to find someone who has more time than I do. And I've been calling around with high time people, and not quite that much, but I'm looking for that. Not a competition, but it's I'm going through my logbook. I got electronic logbook and going, oh my gosh, how many days in the air constantly would be, 4,000 hours in that. But yeah, they're just nothing flies like an extra. And you'd like to have more horsepower and more performance and things like that. But it's just spectacular plane, even after 4,000 hours later, you know?
Yep.
So,
And then I forgot to ask these, but what is the best advice in aviation that you have received, and then what can you do to pass on that to people
okay.
like and young aviators like me and people like that?
I the best advice is be humble, be calm, be prepared. Don't be a show off. Don't be arrogant. Have your ego in check and just approach it that way, because a lot of people, they call it stunt flying, and that's kind of a term that we're uncomfortable with because stunts are an unknown outcome. But if you practice at high altitude all these maneuvers, it's not stunts anymore. It's just a lower level flying. So my best advice I got was, yeah, you're doing impressive things. Don't get out of hand, because it just takes that one moment of, ooh, look at how great I am, and everything to turn into a bad day. So be humble in your aviation endeavors.
Yeah.
Is the sentence I received and continue to portray to the future people, because you lose your friends. You don't want to lose your friends. You know, those are just, it's worth flying and everything, but to have those bad days with your friends, how can you make those days not happen anymore? And that's the goal, is fly safe, keep your ego in check, and we'll fly again tomorrow, you know?
Yep, you're right.
Yep.
And then, what was I going to say? I forgot about something I was going to say. So, you remember the 63 that collided in midair with the B-17 in Texas?
Yeah. That's
it was unfortunate.
Very.
Now, what's your take on that? Like, could that have been avoided, or is something that was unavoidable?
I know they're investigating it, so I don't want to really speculate about something like that. But, you know, everybody looks at videos and they say, oh, this happened and that happened. So I would caution to avoid speculation on that. And then they're going to investigate it, and they'll come up with a probable cause of that. So it's one of those things where you have more than one airplane in the sky in a close proximity, and those things happen. And please don't encourage people to speculate about things.
Yeah.
You know, you think about all the people that were lost and their families and their future and the commemorative Air Force and everything, and you're thinking, you know, let's cherish those people that devoted their life to aviation, and not point fingers at people and say, hey, it's your fault. So let's just be more graceful to all aviators.
Yeah, that is very true.
Yeah.
And rest in peace to those souls on board.
Yeah.
And yeah, we wish you blue skies.
Yeah, that's right.
And then last question is, where can viewers go to find more about your performances?
I've got a website, www.ctcoleman.com, but you just Google my name, Chuck Coleman, and you'll get hundreds of news articles and whatever about me. So, you know, I haven't Google searched you, but I'm sure I'll Google you and find your podcast and lots of other things you're doing at age 14 and that, you know. So Google search is amazing, and we didn't have that growing up. So
nope.
we had to read books and stuff and encyclopedias. Do you even know what an encyclopedia is, right?
Yeah. No.
Wikipedia, you know, that's the new encyclopedia. Yeah. But yeah, I just, you know, you look back on, if you would have said, hey, wow, that flying, and it was at a young age because I wasn't flying growing up, but I was reading about it, and you said about history and that, I would read history, and, you know, the walking on the moon and the supersonic, World War II, all the P-51s, P-40, you could probably know all that. And that made a difference. The B-17s, B-25s, you know, and you had the whole country, you know, like Ford, hey, let's put a pause on building cars. And they built thousands of B-24s in that. And all around the country, they were just, what do we need to do to win this war? You know, and that was a key thing. I think many will say if aviation hadn't been part of it, the outcome would have been different. And that's where aviation in the United States of America, wow, the whole history has happened here. So let's continue that in the United States, you know?
Yep.
And we should be looked upon like, wow, the pioneers of aviation, look what they're doing now, you know? It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, you're right on that.
Right. So.
Hey, do you know how many people are watching right now?
How many?
Do you know what it says on your end?
I don't see a number of people watching.
It says 2.
Oh, it says only 2.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It must be glitched because I'm looking at the time.
Okay.
It says 1:39.
Maybe they checked in and checked out or something.
Yeah.
With a short attention span or something.
So
139. What do you normally see on viewers then?
About 30 something,
okay.
Maybe about 70 to about 55.
Okay. And then when I go to your website, I'll be able to see this and other ones you've done then?
On YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, but not the full video like this.
Okay.
On my website.
I'll go to video and put a lot of likes on your videos, you know.
Thank you.
Okay.
So, if anybody doesn't have, we're gonna go wrap this up. Thank you, Chuck, for coming on, and I can't wait to see you at some future air shows.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the opportunity to talk with you. And I mean, when I was 14 years old, I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't know aviation was going to be my path after college. And it seems like you've already kind of set your path, and get your friends to do it. We need more aviators. So thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome, Chuck. We'll see you next time.
Very good. All right.
Take care.
Bye.